Welcome to the Explainer. If you're still relying on the traditional local SEO playbook, you are risking becoming completely invisible. Today, we're unpacking the 2026 landscape of local search visibility because honestly, the mechanisms driving foot traffic are fundamentally transforming. Local visibility has always been the lifeblood of small businesses, but the foundational architecture, how that visibility is actually achieved, has completely shifted under our feet. We're not just optimizing for 10 blue links anymore, we're optimizing for ambient computing and hypercontextual AI. So, to future-proof your business, we need to completely rethink proximity, entity authority, and conversational signals. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Voice Search Revolution. So, how will customers find your business in 2026? Think about your storefront right now. Let's say a potential customer is driving through your neighborhood, they're merging into the turn lane, and they ask their smart vehicle's AI for a local recommendation for the exact service you provide. Are you the one getting served? Or is the AI totally bypassing you for that competitor 3 blocks away? This isn't science fiction, folks. This is the reality of modern consumer behavior. We are rapidly moving past the days of a customer sitting at a desktop or even pulling over to type queries into a mobile browser. Discovery today is conversational, it's immediate, and it's happening on smart devices that are seamlessly integrated into the user's environment. We have to build a technical bridge between your physical front door and these new fluid conversational queries. And the data driving this urgency is literally staggering. Nearly 70% of local discovery is now entirely voice-activated, compared to just 30% for traditional text search. Let that reality sink in for a second. 70%. This massive shift is happening because of the sheer frictionless nature of ambient computing. Users just don't want to parse through lists of search results anymore. They expect a single, highly accurate, immediate answer delivered via voice. What this means is that if your local search strategy doesn't account for voice and conversational context, you are essentially invisible to 7 out of 10 potential customers who are out there actively searching for exactly what you offer. You aren't just losing market share, you're actively being removed from the consideration set before the customer even knows you exist. Section 2. How AI maps micromarkets. To really master this revolution, we have to understand the mechanics of how AI determines relevance today. And this brilliantly illustrates the shift. In the past, optimizing your presence to reach an entire major metropolitan area, say, all of Chicago or all of Austin, that was the standard approach. You target a broad, metro-wide reach by just stuffing city names into your title tags. But the 2026 reality, it's all about extremely close proximity micromarkets. AI doesn't just draw a lazy circle around a zip code anymore. Actually, scratch that. It's way more complex. It calculates immediate travel time, hyperlocal density, traffic patterns, and the exact coordinates of the user speaking the query. It is creating incredibly specific, highly localized boundaries that update in real time. The AI is effectively shrinking the traditional metro reach because users expect neighborhood-level, highly actionable results when they speak to their devices. So, how exactly does the AI decide who wins in these incredibly tight micromarkets? Well, it relies heavily on what the data calls search everywhere signals. While traditional near-me terms absolutely remain critical, AI now matches users based on location relevance combined with massive amounts of unstructured data. For example, imagine someone post a video on TikTok raving about your coffee shop's new seasonal latte, or maybe a neighborhood thread on Nextdoor heavily recommends your plumbing service. The AI is actively ingesting those social mentions, local reviews, and unstructured conversational signals to validate your business's relevance to a specific location. It's gathering context from everywhere, cross-referencing it instantly to confidently understand exactly who to recommend when a user asks an ambient question right in your vicinity. It's like a giant puzzle coming together in milliseconds. Section 3. Building structured local pages. The directive from the research here is absolutely uncompromising. Build a dedicated, structured local page for every single geographic location you serve. Now, you might be wondering, why is this so vital? Well, because having a single broad website page that vaguely lists all the different cities, counties, or regions you work in severely dilutes the AI's confidence score for your specific micromarkets. When an AI agent scans your digital footprint, it wants absolute certainty. A broad areas we serve page, that just creates ambiguity. To win the recommendation, the AI requires a dedicated, one-to-one, highly specific home base for every single micromarket you operate in. That level of dedicated specificity is literally the only way to achieve the maximum confidence score required for a localized voice recommendation. Let's break down the exact technical anatomy of these structured local pages. There are 3 mandatory building blocks. Step 1. your nap details. Now, obviously, we all know what name, address, and phone number are, but the crucial point here is that this data must be perfectly structured for AI ingestion. We're talking about formatting that flawlessly matches the knowledge graph, utilizing the correct schema markup so machine learning models can parse the data without friction. Step 2, establish your unique value propositions. What objectively makes you different from the provider 2 blocks away? And is that difference clearly legible to a crawler? And step 3, publish hyperlocal content. You need all 3 of these structured cleanly, consistently, and technically perfectly so the AI can parse and trust your entity instantly. Let's zoom in on that 3rd step for a moment. Hyperlocal content. It has to do much more than just sit on the page. As the source material highlights, it must be content that directly answers regional questions. This means anticipating the specific, long-tail conversational queries your target customers are actually asking their smart speakers. To do this, you've got to go way beyond basic keyword research. Start parsing local community forums like Reddit or Nextdoor, mining voice search-specific data tools, and analyzing your own customer support transcripts. Find the exact regional nuances and specific hyperlocal friction points your customers experience, and build out FAQ sections on these localized pages that directly, concisely answer those exact questions. That is exactly how you train the AI to see you as the undisputed neighborhood authority. Section 4. Dominating your proximity. Now, what's really interesting about all of this is the concept of providing authoritative entity details. When we talk about entity details in this context, we're talking about robust local business schema markup, deeply optimized Google Business Profile attributes, and interconnected data points that define your business as a recognized authoritative entity rather than just a string of text on a web page. When you build those structured local pages properly and inject these deep entity details, you achieve that coveted, extremely close proximity status in the algorithm's eyes. You are giving the voice-activated systems the exact mathematical confidence they need to prioritize your business over your competitors. That is how you bridge the gap, successfully converting those ephemeral conversational signals directly into actual, trackable foot traffic. It's a real game changer. Which brings us to our final thought. I want you to ask yourself honestly, if a voice assistant mapped your micro-market today, right now, would your business even exist? If you haven't moved past traditional broad-reach SEO, if you haven't optimized your structured pages for hyperlocal confidence scores, and if you haven't claimed your authoritative entity details, the answer might be no. The shift to ambient, voice-driven local discovery isn't coming. It's already here. Audit your local search strategy today and start building the architecture AI needs to find you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.